everyone, just a quick update before the video starts. I've been trying to upload weekly, and I know if you look at my channel, that's not very apparent. I do struggle with depression, and I'm doing school as well right now, so it's taken some time, and I apologize, but if you're a subscriber, thanks for sticking through that, and...
Sir, come in.
What is it?
It has to do with the video, sir. Your mortal enemy, Kurtis Connor, he...
What did he do?
Well, sir, he intercepted a transmission of your brainwaves, and before you could finish editing this video for your 10 subscribers, he posted his...
Curse you, Kurtis the Canadian! Hi, and welcome back to my channel, where we obviously only make good decisions in life. And today, you can probably guess what we're gonna be talking about, if it's not obvious. But Pinocchio is a classic children's tale in a lot of ways, you know? It's the story about the wooden boy come to life, and, you know, his nose grows when he lies. And I vaguely remember the original Disney version watching it when I was a lot younger, just because of that one scene where the guys turn into donkeys. I don't remember anything else. But there are 3 new Pinocchio movies that are coming out this year. There is the Disney live-action one, you know, to keep their trademark on the character design, of course. There is Del Toro's stop animation. And then finally, there's the last one, the one we're talking about. The fruity one. Anyways, this is the only one out of the 3 that is out right now. And if you didn't know, it's not very good. There's been videos made about it since it came out on like the 22nd. I'm a little bit late to the party. But, you know, Pinocchio, A True Story, is a movie that succeeds at making magic incredibly boring. And speaking of bored, that's exactly how I felt writing this script and forcing myself to remember those 90 minutes of my life that I'll never get back. But if I have to suffer, what's the point if I can't make good YouTube content out of it? Anyway, the movie begins, and we open to Tybalt the horse, using the most atrocious drinking sound effects known to man. But anyways, the horse promises to tell us the real story of Pinocchio, not those lies that everyone else has been peddling. And the first thing he lets us know is that Pinocchio's nose doesn't grow when he lies. That would be stupid and out of the realm of reality. Why the hell would that fucking happen, am I right? And I mean, I don't know if there is, but where's the porn parody where his nose isn't the only thing that grows?
Penis!
When I think about Pinocchio, I first think of, you know, how he's a wooden puppet come to life. Then I think about the nose growing when he lies. And then I think about Jiminy Cricket. And, you know, 2 of those things are no longer relevant. I mean, I guess they replace the cricket with the horse Tybalt. And in case you were wondering, the characters in this story are in fact free domain. Disney was able to copyright, like, the designs of their Pinocchio and whatnot, but they're not able to copyright Pinocchio as a concept in general, so there was really no reason to cut these aspects of the story out other than to be different. And I mean, replacing the cricket with a horse, that's fine, that's okay. But then you take away one of the things that, you know, makes the movie really special. And, you know, having a character who can't lie like Pinocchio is really interesting. Thinking back on it, in this movie's case, if they had a character who couldn't lie, it would be over a lot shorter. It also removes any potential messages about taking responsibility for your lies, which I thought was a main theme of the original Pinocchio. And, you know, I'm gonna say it, this 90-minute movie, 90 fucking minutes, hour and a half, felt more padded than the Batman. Somehow, Geppetto looks like an off-brand Roblox character, and for some reason, he also reminds me of Spider-S. I just can't really explain that to anyone. They kept the bad Leonardo joke.
Maybe Leonardo. That won't do either. He'd grow up to be a selfish actor, or an artist, or a turtle who only cares about pizza.
Looking back through my memory of the entire movie, this is the only joke I can remember. That's not a good thing, because if there were other jokes, I did not recognize them, because they were just not funny at all. And I don't have the greatest memory. It is very selective, but I remember more about The Nightmare Before Christmas than this movie. And, like, comparatively, I watched The Nightmare Before Christmas about 8 years ago in class. Only once. That was the only time I watched it. And I watched this movie like 3 days ago, which I feel like says something about the memorability of this movie, which is non-existent. Geppetto also knows how to fix magic wands. I don't know if this was a plotline in, like, the book or the original. So he knows magic, or either that or the wand is basically useless and worthless. We're introduced to the owner of the wand, the Blue Fairy, Lady Lucinda... Ludmilla? Lucille? It's something. I do not know what it is, though. Anyways, she's there, magically, with her cockatiel. And I don't even remember if the cockatiel has a name, but, you know, I can hold my suspension of disbelief for only so long. The talking horse? Okay, sure. The wooden doll coming to life? I know it's not realistic, but, you know, I get it. This is a movie. It's not reality. But a bird, especially a cockatiel, that is not nonsensically screaming and shitting everywhere all the time, that's just too unrealistic for me. And either way, this character is basically Budget Iago, and we're just calling her the lady because I really don't remember her name, brings Pinocchio to life as a thanks to Geppetto. And boys, that's some soulless animation if I've ever seen it.
Fetch me their soul!
Whenever a character, like, grunts or makes a noise, they sound like a Skyrim NPC, even Pinocchio. They also make the horseman do his own, like, horse sounds and neighs. It doesn't work. Anyways, the police arrive, and they're patrolling, I guess. They're looking for someone suspicious.
And you don't find that little fact suspicious?
What little fact?
You don't think it's suspicious that there's no one suspicious in your home?
And that is the worst thing I've ever heard in a good long while. And you know, voice acting, still all Skyrim NPC. His character, for some reason, explains every movement that he does right before he does it. Anyways, I'm gonna go get a sip of water. 1 second. Now I'm gonna adjust my hat real quick. I look like a rejected member of Four Town. I'm now gonna look at my script and continue the video. I don't like how the horse looks at me. It's really fucking scary. You know, Pinocchio sounds very, like, more so than, more. Anyways, if you're wondering, every line that Pauly Shore delivers in this movie is spoken the exact same way. You know, I don't really get the trend of casting middle-aged men as teenage boys, but what do I know? Anyways, we're introduced to the circus, and you'll notice that the fox is British. And this movie, I'm assuming, takes place in Italy because they use Signor and Signorita. They have British and American and Russian accents only because this movie is in fact Russian. And I'm really only half aware of what is happening in the movie at any given time. Now, when they introduce the circus, it's obviously evil. After introducing the circus and the more talking animals, it just really seems like they're taking away the magic of Pinocchio's whole existence. There's later a throwaway comment about how there's a million other different fairies out there that could magic Pinocchio some bitches in this time period that's still not specified or whatever. And that means magic is pretty common. And therefore, if magic is common, how the fuck is this little twink special? Right around now, I think I was a little too brain dead while watching the movie, but Bella, Pinocchio's love interest, surprisingly not a man, has blue hair and pronouns, her carriage goes wild, you know, it goes off the rail. And, you know, Tybalt was ready to let that bitch die, and, like, honestly, fair. But apparently the only thing anyone had to do to get the startled horse to stop, like, running at the cliff was to tell it to stop. And it will listen. Pinocchio gets shot after.
Mamma mia! It wouldn't bite!
He's also completely hollow. Think what you want with that information. But at this point, Pinocchio leaves for the circus. I still really don't know why the detective is there, but you know, he's just kind of existing to fill a plot point, and he shows up randomly throughout the story. But apparently the circus is having trouble coming up with new material. And like, honestly, when they were like showing the beginning of the show, I really wish they had the crowds just throw fucking tomatoes. Why is that not a thing? At least in this movie. Gay Boy does some flips on a horse, and the villains are obviously evil once more, but you know, it makes the characters all look really dumb. Anyways, Pinocchio is a capitalist now, and he reverse adopts Tybalt as his new dad because Geppetto isn't there. Don't know how that works. They have a really weird upskirt shot of Bella, and it's a nice song, a nice singing voice. The song's kind of just that typical inspiring, ooh, look at me, I'm performing song. It's badly dubbed over. We can tell that Bella's original voice actor is not the one singing the song. And the clapping afterwards. But then they show a montage of the circus's success, which, you know, is fine. They show different flyers of the show popping up on screen, except for the fact that some of the flyers just repeat themselves when they could have easily just made more ones, and then I wouldn't have to complain about this scene, you know? Bella, she looks like the long-necked lady from Little Nightmares 2. I will not elaborate. I will not explain. You know, and with the detailing in a lot of shots, you can notice discrepancies. Like, when we take a look at Bella in her carriage, curtains are open on both sides of the window. When Pinocchio is staring creepily at her carriage, the shades are drawn. Anyways, they have, you know, the dramatic
It's just me.
Pinocchio, you need to listen to me. I don't even like you!
But she kicks him out and tells him to leave. And, you know, he has an existential crisis, you know, about how he's not a real boy. And that's why Bella doesn't like him. Not like there's other reasons to dislike him, like the fact that he's a ginormous piece of shit in the movie. And, you know, things happen. I don't really know either, to be honest, and I'm the one who spent $6 on Amazon to rent this shit. But the clown tells Pinocchio about Lucille the fairy, who can help him make him a real boy.
So one clown said something, and then another one said something. But the real clown here is you, Pinocchio.
And you know, the villains, they have an evil plan to, like, get Pinocchio's 5 coins. Oh no, he has a nickel. And it's very obviously stupid. And, like, if I'm being completely transparent with you, the viewer, I would rather be watching Barbie Fairytopia, but only the Bibble clips right now, than having seen this. And I feel like that's a very strong opinion. Yeah, but they fail to trick Pinocchio, and then they go to fight evil spirits that are actually just one singular bird in a cavern to get to the fairy's house. And, in this world, I guess, they worship the diva Madonna. Anyways, a few following scenes just don't look right animation-wise, like those spikes, yeah, they probably went inside him. That sounds wrong. Anyways, they get to the fairy. I still don't remember her name, but it is Russian. I remember that now. But they get to her and she says she can't help. And they're gonna need a miracle to turn Pinocchio into a real boy. And then, you know, they leave. And she's like, she's gossiping to her bird, and she's like, I could have turned him into a real boy, but I didn't. Anyways, you know, they're mad about Pinocchio being missing, the ringleader, and they're talking about how they need a magic puppet, you know, that's his main appeal, not the horse tricks that he does. And this may be a really weird nitpick. You may agree, you may not agree. But whenever real circuses have used attractions along the vein of this, such as the real mummified dead human body of an outlaw in that one circus where they threw pennies in the mouth, it was used as an attraction, but you are displaying it for that purpose of, look, mummified body. You could get anyone to come and replace Pinocchio to do horse tricks, to do horse stunts. You could get a replacement that easily. Like, I doubt, like, people even notice he's wood. Anyways, the cops catch up to them. And this whole time, they finally reveal that the circus was evil. And I mean, who could have seen that coming? Nobody. It was a real shock. Unfortunately, like real life cops, they are also dumb. So they believe that Pinocchio is the real ringleader, despite not joining until recently. But anyways, basically the circus's evil plan is they distract everyone with, like, the circus show, and then the cat and the fox, and the ringleader, they go around and they raid people's houses and steal things while the show is going on. And, like, are the villages just that small that everyone's coming? Or do, like, they know every audience member's specific house? Tybalt and Pinocchio have a pointless breakup scene where they're like, we're not friends anymore, except Pinocchio did reverse adopt Tybalt, so it's like, you're not my dad anymore. They're just, you know, checking boxes of, like, typical kids movie action adventure stuff. The scene after where you know, Tybalt is all on his own, and this happened, the breakup and this scene happened within 5 minutes of each other. He decides that he is gonna go back for Pinocchio, and he is gonna protect him. And, you know, they have, like, I thought they were gonna do the angel-devil shoulder thing for a second, and I was like, ooh, that might be interesting. But it was, like, angel. So he just went around to go get Pinocchio. Yeah, you know, the cops, they may have passed him when, they may have passed Pinocchio and Tybalt before they broke up. You know, but they are just that fucking fast that they're right back there jumping out of a bush to catch Pinocchio. It's kudos to them, you know? And I mean, they don't really detain him. They just kind of like, they hold his arm. They're like gently touching. And then they shove like a rag in his mouth. That's a handkerchief. To, you know, keep him quiet. And then, you know, Tybalt shows up. Woo! It's almost like there was no point to the breakup scene other than that so he could rescue Pinocchio. And, like, the cops go to, like, because they're loaded. They got heat packed. And Pinocchio could have just took the handkerchief out of his mouth at any time. Anyways, some more pointless things happen. You know, Geppetto, he's going to find Pinocchio because he's worried that something's happened to him. I'm like, who cares? Is that, like, rude of me to say? Because I'm childless and alone? Barren? Nah. You know, Pinocchio goes back to warn Bella, even though she's already figured out about her father's, you know, evil arrangements with the circus. I forgot to mention this earlier, and I apologize about that, but they share, like, a few on-screen moments, and then we're like, oh, they're in love. It was faster than how lesbians U-Haul, I swear to God. Tybalt, he originally told Pinocchio to stay somewhere, but, you know, Pinocchio is like, no, I'm gonna save Bella. They have this realization that, oh, the handkerchief that Bella uses is the same one that the cop shoved into Pinocchio's mouth. I wonder what that means. You know, and this is, like, one of the most pointless plot points in the whole entire goddamn movie. Anyways, you know, they're like, we're gonna make Pinocchio perform one last time. They also caught Geppetto. No surprise, he's an old fragile man. There's gonna be one last performance. But instead of doing what they think the circus performers are gonna do, they sing a new special, really terrible, I hate it, it's god-awful, song about how the circus has been using them, and they didn't know about any of the crimes. And then, you know, the public and the police who were there magically, they all believed them. Because, you know, Tybalt also explained it to the police, even though they could have done that way earlier and resolved the movie much sooner. Anyways, the cat, the fox, the ringmaster, they're all about to go to jail, but they're not going down without a fight. he grabs a lantern, throws it to the ground, and boy, is that one greased up circus tent. Now, I'm not an expert. I'm not an arsonist, I swear. But I'm pretty sure that's not how fire works. Anyways, it spreads in like 2.5 seconds and Bella gets stuck on the other side of the fire. And Pinocchio's like, I'm gonna save her. And, you know, he has enough time to jump in the fire and toss her back. Okay. Tybalt then goes into the fucking Dante's Inferno and gets Pinocchio, who is in fact not burnt. I can't express how stupid it is, because like the Great Sacrifice, yeah, it's a story plot point, who gives a shit? But you know, they do all that with fire, and then they're like, he must have been fireproof, but he's also still dead, so like he must have suffocated from the smoke, but he doesn't have to breathe. I don't know. I really don't. Bella's tears bring him back from the life and make him a real boy, because you know that the miracle happened because he sacrificed himself. Who cares? He's still a horrible person. And then, you know, they do the pointless reveal that the ringmaster had bought Bella from someone who kidnapped her, and the detective was her real dad. And her real dad became a detective because she went missing. I don't care. Then they make a new, they just make a new circus. And that's the movie. But somehow, out of all the shitty movies I've ever seen, this was one of the worst I've watched. And maybe it's because, you know, it's just so boring, and every line by every character is delivered in the exact same way. Like, you know, I just got an A on my test. I just killed a man. It's a very boring, pointless movie. Everything's monotonous, so you just don't care about anything. And that's it, really. You know, hopefully next week I'll actually be interested in what I do a video on, and it will therefore be better. If there's one thing you learn from this, don't spend $6 to watch it. But, you know, thanks for watching. And now I'm gonna proceed to block this out of my memory and never think about it again. Oh shit, I have to edit this video. Well, I'm gonna edit the video and post it, and then I'm gonna never think about it again.
Say the line, Bart!
World to see.